What's up, guys? Dr. Seth back to help you solve your powerlifter problems. So, last week on an AMA, I forget what the question was at this point, but in the answer, I talked about how I try to protract during bench press. And everyone, like literally fucking everyone, I had like 30 DMs in the request, like, what the fuck, Seth? Everyone says to retract. I've always said to retract. You have to retract during bench press. Why are you saying this? This doesn't make sense. This is wrong. This can't be right. And when I first heard this, it was probably like 2016, like Duff and Kabuki were talking about how retracting during bench press might not be the best idea. And back then I was like, okay, this is bullshit. Everyone says to retract, to pull your shoulder blades back, to blah, 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 blah. And I just kept going blah, 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 and ripping the shit out of my pecs. And like 2018, talking to Joe Sullivan about a similar thing, and it's like he made a case that made more sense to me. And even then, I still wasn't totally bought in because I'm like, the shoulder blade has to be stable. You have to be here. You have to be just blah, 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 blah. You have to shorten the range as much as possible. You have to pull back as much as possible. And I still didn't really change my opinion on it. I still wanted to believe the shit that I just kept hearing over and over again because if it has been said for 30 years, it must be true, right? And that isn't necessarily the truth. And it was beginning to kind of really understand shoulder action more. It was beginning to really understand the relationship between the shoulder socket, the shoulder blade, and how shoulder blade position influences the muscles that run across both joints. And the truth is that when we are pulled all the way back, when we are packed all the way in, like, yes, the rib cage can be higher. Yes, we can have a shorter range of motion. But the problem is that when the shoulder blade is pulled all the way back, the humerus is in a position where the pec has very, very poor leverage over the humerus in the bottom end. And it's like, we want the pec to have a decent amount of leverage. We want the pec to be able to efficiently pull that humerus to drive it through the top. And the second part of the equation is that the pec and the serratus anterior, they have a coupled action. They work together. They both work better when they are both working. So again, if we're pulled all the way back, the serratus isn't going to be able to do its job, and the pec then won't be able to do its job as well. And the thing is like, we don't need the shoulder blade to be immobile in order to be stable. What we need is to have the muscles on all sides contracting in a coordinated manner to create that stability. So if when we are pressing, if we are able to have some degree of protraction at the top, let the shoulder blade travel backwards a little bit as we lower it, necessary to touch, and then allow that slight protraction again as we press, yes, the shoulder blade will be moving. But as long as we are in control of the movement, as long as we're strong in the serratus, as long as we are still having tension in the upper back, not locking down the upper back, we will then still have a stable shoulder blade, a stable shoulder socket, and we will actually be able to do better because we're not fighting our own pec action by keeping the shoulder blade totally stuck, locked back here, and unable to move. And I think part of the confusion in saying that, like, I try to protract while I'm benching, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that I'm full on dumped forward like this, trying to bench up here and not letting it come back at all. What I'm doing is when I'm setting up on bench, I am rolling down and then pushing forward. So it's like depression, push forward, and then I'm on the bar, and then I'm trying to pull out and like push with serratus and get lat and have a huge amount of serratus lat contraction as I am going. And then from here, I'm lowering and like catching the bar and letting serratus absorb some of it, letting shoulder blade move as I'm lowering, and then it's just a big push, driving up and driving through, trying to feel armpit, trying to feel pec working together, and getting a really big squeezed lockout. So it's not as simple as just shove it all the way this way, shove it all the way that way. There is some deliberate technique, some deliberate skill in learning to push up into the bar with serratus and then take it out and catch with serratus, and that is what we're really looking for. That is what we're really missing. And in terms of like understanding what that should feel like, one of the best ways I've been able to like replicate the sensation is like, think if like I'm a bodybuilder doing like a front lat spread and I'm trying to scoop my shoulder blades around, scoop my lats low. This is the type of contraction I'm looking for, the type of feel I'm looking for when I'm setting up on bench. So it's like I'm thinking lat spread to enhance the arch, get hands on the bar, pull into the bar, unwrap, catch serratus, lower into serratus, push up to top. And that is how I run my current bench technique. And as someone who has a history of multiple pretty gnarly pec tears and multiple shoulder surgeries, this tends to make everything feel so much safer. It feels so much better. And for years, it was like I was afraid to have my pecs do any work during a bench because every time my pecs did work, they would pop. Whether it was like a big rupture like the first time or like little scar tissue ruptures later on, there was some sort of snap, crackle, pop, ouch every single time my pecs were loaded on a press, and I would avoid them at all costs. And now that I have modified this technique and figured it out and brought my pecs up in the process, I'm now looking for pec contraction when I bench. And it's like I'm looking to load my pecs, which I never would have imagined I'd be wanting to do, 3-4 years ago because my pecs were in such bad shape. And it's like part of that is building up tolerance, but part of that is modifying the technique so that my pecs aren't fighting leverage and they're actually able to move the humerus relatively efficiently and not just getting totally skull fucked by being jacked up like this, trying to be as pulled back as I can on bench. So, guys, a lot of the powerlifting cues that get repeated over and over again, a lot of them are right, but at least a handful of them we should be thinking harder on, we should be thinking deeper on, and we should be thinking, could we be doing this better? And pulling shoulder blades back as hard as you can, that is one of those things where we could be doing better. We could be changing our strategy to have a more efficient bench press. So, hopefully you got something out of this video. Give this a shot on your bench. And again, I'm not saying to protract all the way. I'm saying pull down and then have a slight amount of protraction forward to help us catch the bar. Let scaps come back as we're lowering a little bit, and then try to push up with protraction as we're pressing. And make sure to hit share this with your friends, drop a comment, talk shit, tell me I am stupid if you believe I'm stupid. I don't think I'm stupid because I am talking in this video trying to help you guys, but I disagreed with this for a very long time, and I do regret disagreeing with this. I regret not hopping onto it sooner. So, drop a comment, drop a share. Peace out, guys. Thank you for watching. And the Activated Performance Training app is now live. We got peaking, we got off seasons, we got movement prep, we have warm-ups in the Discord community. So hop on there. First 20, we are going to be giving away a barbell of your choice from Elite FTS. So get on there soon, and we'll do more giveaways at 50 and 100. And if you hop on there and you don't have the type of program you're looking for, if you want something different, if you'd like movement prep for a different area, what I'll do is I will hop on there and I will update a new program for you if you are not stoked with what's in there. Because if you're not stoked, someone else won't be stoked. And by updating that program, I'll probably be helping the next guy who hops on. So, thank you guys for watching. Hop on that app, program link below.